Peace, 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 everybody. You know what time it is. G Consciousness Radio, a YouTube channel. That's what it is. First off, today we're going to give y'all a good live show, a lecture with some information that's going to be astonishing and also to expose up in his folly. This brother does not know the context of the biblical text, so we're going to put him in place today and let him know what it is. Now, we had some comedics that was agreeing with the information that he brought out yesterday on Sanetta's show. So we're at today. We had Jonathan, also with Yahoo or something like that. We was in the Hangouts last night. And so I chose to make a video today after I argued with these brothers for like 30 minutes. Well, not Shakka Utmost, but, you know, Jonathan them. This brother say he know the Hebrew, right? Okay, so we're going to deal with some Hebrew today. And we're going to deal with the information that Shakka Utmost brought out. And number one is this. I was talking to Wajahu. He came in. We having like a 30-minute dialect. We talking, dialogue. We're talking, going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So we got he wanted to really just get off into dealing with Samuel 20 and 41. First Samuel 20 and 41. So that's what we're gonna do today. So as I'm dealing with him, here comes Jonathan. Jonathan come in. So once he come in, he begins to basically say, Shakka Utmost is right. So, okay. He said he know Hebrew, right? So number one is this. I deal with this biblical text on a daily basis. Number two, I don't know Hebrew at all, but I have a Hebrew Strong's that can look up these words and also the usage and application of these words. So he does the same thing. He doesn't know Hebrew. He's not fluent in it. I think he really is not even on the meta like that. I just think that everybody praised him like that. He's not fluent in that. So, you know, it's just funny. It's odd, you know, that he will come and try to challenge me and Wajahu on my own ground with my own tool. Now, I want to bring this out. I'm not like the average Black Hebrew Israelite camp. That's number one. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. Not knocking what they do. That's first off. Second off, if you come to me and try to take Arthur's sword out this rock, it's not going to happen. And that goes to the Amun-Ra squad, and that goes to any Hebrew camp out there. It's not going to happen. If you come to me and say that you basically is Kemet and you know this better than me, no, you couldn't even do that to a Hebrew Israelite, this well studied. You know what I'm saying? You definitely not going to do that to me because I know the text. I'm God consciousness. I'm G consciousness. First off, and it's not even dealing with me. God consciousness means to be conscious of God, or to be God consciousness, basically, of His word. So it has nothing to do with me. It has something to do with me getting understanding of the text by the Spirit and allowing Him to give me understanding, and by all means keeping everything that can be kept as literal in the perspective of the context that it's supposed to be. Now, if it's figurative, then I deal with the figurative speech that's there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to expose Shakka Utmost for the foolishness. But before we go on, let me invite some people in here, because this got to stop. This is getting foolish, and I'm not really used to this computer thing or YouTube, so bear with me. but I got a lot of information that's gonna bring out and expose a lot of folly and foolishness. And I'm not gonna play games with you. I'm cutthroat. That's bottom line. You know, so shouts out to Nasi for what he did yesterday on on Talk with the Titans. Shout out to Kalam, you know what I'm saying, for bringing Talk with the Titans, because it was a great show yesterday. And not only that, I have learned some great information from that from Kalam and Talk with the Titans. So it's overall every Wednesday, you know, we getting that good information. So, you know, it's a process of growing and also learning. So here's the thing. Nasi put out some good information yesterday. And I really think for reals that these brothers just coming to this debate far as the Hebrews is gonna really put in work at that debate. I'm looking at it. I was confident on how Nasi handled himself and how he spoke yesterday. So, you know, and me and Nasi, we really don't even, you know what I'm saying, click like that on some things. You know what I'm saying? He's a good brother, but you know, we stand different in some perspectives, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying, I'm supportive of him in this debate. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not really worried about Reggie. I'm not worried about what's the brother's name? What's his name? Jonathan. Number one, I'm not worried about Jonathan, because Jonathan, he's slick. He's the slickest out of everybody that's on that forum. He's very slick. But if you know the Bible, he cannot get you in the Bible. See, because you come into this ground. So number one is this. If he does not know that Bible and does not know the context of that Bible and just take bits and pieces, a portion of that Bible, please, you need to step back. Okay, and it's another, what's the other brother name who we dealing with? What's his name? Polite. Man, I'm not really worried about him either, because he's slick, but at the same time, he doesn't really know the Bible. He brings out some things, so he brings out a couple of things. It's like he doesn't know the Bible. The one of the persons we really need to look out for is Jonathan. Why is that? Because Jonathan, and he speaks with the serpent tongue. What do I mean by that? This brother, he seems or say he knows the Bible. So what he does is he feeds you with a little here and a little there. That's what he does. And when he does that, that's when he put the hiss or the poison in with it. So you have to watch people that know a little bit of the word, because what they try to do is they try to mix it and they try to put it in their own perspectives, and that's very dangerous. So you got to catch the slickness, and you have to know your own text and know what it says. No one that has the biblical text should be defeated by any comedic or anybody or unbeliever that's outside of the Bible. That's first off. You will never defeat me with that sword. I'm gonna tell you that now. I know how to use it. I know what things is at. And another thing too, if you are battling over the language of this in the text and really basing it on according to what the English is saying, because the English is important, and definitely the Hebrew is important, but what we must realize is this, is that people are babbled. In other words, these languages are babbled. So it's confusion. So I don't really play too much with the language. I play with the context. What is this context saying? What is being said here? How can I get the understanding and the application of this thing? And when you deal with the context and put it all in proper perspective, then that's how you slay people immediately. Because see, they only have a portion of the story. See, these brothers like Jonathan, the Amon-Ra squad, one of the main things that they do is they read a little bit of something, and they have what you call forum. And this is a black atheist forum that they have, and they read off this scroll. And on this scroll, it lists all basically, I call it a scroll. It lists all basically the things that they feel is error in the Bible. It's nothing hard about it. So when you see them doing this, it's not nothing that they looked at and they studied. They have the same regurgitated mess. For instance, Maya, she is still arguing that Shakespeare wrote the Bible. See, this is how you know when beginners are just starting to attack the Bible. When they come with arguments like Shakespeare wrote the Bible, King James. See, these are people that are ignorant. They don't know anything about authorized, but they'll go write a book out there. They don't look at nothing about, they don't see nothing about that they have to take it to go get it authorized. In other words, are published by someone of authority. So it's just weird to me that they don't understand these concepts or understand version, you know what I'm saying, or dealing with the language or different things like that. So it's just weird. So without further ado, we're going to get into the text. Now understand this. If you don't understand me, key in, listen in, when the show is over, rewind, or you know, just listen to it over again, basically, because you know I'm tongue-tied and I'm country. I'm from St. Louis. So let's get into this. Let me fix this light here, you know, and we finna break bread. We finna eat dinner time. This is what I do, you know what I'm saying? And it's no pride, it's none of that. It's just this is what I do. This is dinner time to me. This is eat time, you know what I'm saying? Let me fix this light, because we ain't got all night, you know what I'm saying? Fix the mic up. Okay. It is what it is. You know, I love the kids, you know. Let's go. Get some of this light on my face a little bit. All right, so what we gonna do here, let's get some people in here. Let's get some people in here. I'm trying to see what I got going here. Hold on, y'all. See what I got going here. All right, so let's go. Check some things real quick. Bear with me, y'all. Pull out some things. Pull up my page. Trying to invite some people in to the group. I don't know how to do it. If you know how to get in, I guess come on over. But let me start. Let me get started real quick. So what I want to do here. What I want to do. All right, so we're gonna jump over to 18. We're gonna jump over right to. I'm gonna screen share real quick, where I can start off reading this. Let me see if I can find the link here, and cause some people are hitting me up, and I gotta find a link here real quick. See how to add people in. Let's see. Shit, is that right? Wish I had Israel Doctrine over here, cause he be on it. He knows exactly what to do. I'm new to it. He said Adam. And see, it's something that I can do to add, or something that they say I can do. How do you add? How do you add people? Also, I need to get some people in here so I can add them. I don't even know how to do it. What's this? Bear with me, y'all. We got 2 hours. Hey, if anybody know how to, I need to learn how to video it. If anybody know how I can add them or get in to add them in here, let me know. I'll hit my phone up. That way I can add y'all to the live feed and we can start start it up. Because the only thing I know how to do is just send a link to where y'all can listen to it on YouTube, and that's it. So if you know how to do that, just hit my line or inbox me on Facebook. Let me check this out on Facebook real quick. Okay, got you. I see it. There it is. There it is. All right, I posted that. So now I know how to do it. I'm in the house now. It's on and popping now. They didn't let the kid handle the biz. What's up? All right, so we finna get busy. Let me get your Shaya in here. We finna get busy. We ain't finna be playing with it. Peace, peace, brother.
Yo, what up, man?
You know, slow motion.
Slow motion, homie.
Slow motion. Let me get you Shia in here real quick. Yeah, man. I looked at you. I checked you out today. Your video you put about Shaka Utmost in the folly. You
Man,
know
it's
what I'm
so much.
saying?
Hey, but you know what though, man? I'm starting to feel sorry for him, man.
Yeah,
Like,
something ain't right.
nah, cause I was looking at it, like, I think people taking advantage of him, man. Cause it's like, do you see that? Cause they put that video up, like Sonetta was in the back, like, man, get your weave tight, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna have my weave tight. I'm like, bro, they clowning you,
Yeah, they
right,
clowning though.
like right in front of him, but he don't get it. Like, I think I feel, like I'm gonna start making videos about him, man. Cause it's some mental stuff happening there.
It's something going on, man. And you know what? It's something going on, man. Now that I'm starting to see, man, that he putting out the information, but you
Cause
know,
it's like the information is so outrageously off
oh my God, it's all ain't it?
that
It's like
it's
it's like he's not reading the whole context before he even putting the information out. It's like he going off of somebody else's information that ain't read it, and he ain't even read it himself.
yeah, and it's just like, and you see how emotional it's really his emotions that come with it. Like
Exactly.
he gets so emotional when it comes to this. Like, you saw that sit down where they had Polite, Divine Prospect, Reggie, and him in a Gabar. Did you see that sit down?
Yeah, I definitely seen it.
He was the only one that got emotional.
Yeah, he was super emotional, and he wanted to
Everybody
hug the mic. And
Yeah, everybody else was just chilling. Like, okay, cool. I mean, they had their back and forths, but it was like this emotionally affects him.
exactly. Hey, how do I know how much time I got on her? What did the time say that?
Man, I'm just as lost about this kind of stuff as you are. I just started. Hey, Carl, the one that taught me how to do the hangout stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So what we about to do? We finna go on and get started, man. We finna go on and get it in and get busy, basically. You know what I'm saying? Cause um, you know, I got into a dialogue with Jonathan and you see, I don't call him the Magi. That nigga ain't no Magi. Excuse my language, but that nigga ain't no Magi. What's up, yo?
What's
What's
going on?
going on, you Shia?
Shalom, shalom. Hey, look, I'm gonna catch up with y'all. I'm just letting y'all know I'm coming back into the call, man. I gotta go
Okay.
to the crib so I can be around some good Wi-Fi. I'm coming back to the call, man. Shalom to you, brothers. I'll be back.
You too, brother. Peace.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm in a dialogue with him with Jawu, and so we going in. So like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my truck basically, so I don't really got my notes with me, but I'm still getting it off the top of the head, letting them know, like, hold on, man, like that ain't sound. So we talking about the metadata or whatever, you know, and I don't really deal with the metadata or nothing like that. I know just a couple of things on it. Before when you're looking at it, I'm like, hold on for a minute. Like, I'm gonna do some studying on it, like serious studying on it, yo. So when I see these guys, I'm looking at them trying to build the metadata up themselves, and they have their certain perspectives or different people who they use to translate this script. So last night, Jonathan come in while I'm dealing with Jaul, and when he come in and was like, he say Shaka Utmost is right, and I'm looking like he right. Yeah, so this is your Hebrew scholar. He's supposed to be. He say he know Hebrew. So I'm like, you lying? Is you fluent in it? Like you know, stop. Let's stop playing games. So he say that this guy's correct. So I'm like, hold on. Well, let's do some studying on it. Let's look at it and see then. So when Jawu was supposed to go and study it and look at it, because I gave him the whole context. I know it by heart. I know the whole situation by heart. And I'm a bust it out and bust open today. We finna do that right here and right now. Matter of fact, I'm finna share my screen.
Yeah, cause now here's the thing. Okay, this is what's funny to me about the whole situation, right? The Bible is always accused of doctoring stuff, right? Of changing and flipping stuff around as a bias of showing the Israelites as being the chosen people, right?
Exactly.
If that was a homosexual instance, don't you think the biased biblical authors would have just taken that whole section out completely if it was some homosexual stuff?
Exactly.
It wouldn't even have been in there if you're making the claim that the Bible, all the biblical authors are just biased and they just, they spin doctors. If they were spin doctors, that would not even be in the. If that meant what they say they meant, it wouldn't make sense.
Exactly.
It would not make sense.
Exactly. Now here's what we gonna do, because of what's going on in this narrative right here, or in the text period. It covers over ending of 1 Samuel 17 and 37. I'm gonna bring out something real key here. Then also, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see that. Okay, I can see your screen, but it got my face on it though.
Okay, let me see something real quick. I gotta hold on. Do it got a lot of your faces on there, or just one?
Yeah, it got a whole bunch. I got like the infinity joint.
Okay, let me get that together. Let me get this together real quick. Start talking.
Yo. Yeah.
Did your face pop? Huh?
Yeah.
I think I made it to where your face ain't popping up. It's just on me, right?
Yeah. It's just on you, yo.
All right, so let me do this real quick. Can you see that? Is it a lot of them, or is it just one?
I just see your face right now.
Hold on, I gotta share my screen. Hold on.
Unapproved, no sample, enjoy your class. Physical education, right?
Mute your mic, Mikael. What's up? Peace, brother.
Peace, brother. Hold on.
At Cricket Wireless,
I gotta mute what, the YouTube?
Yeah, we live.
That's why our plan.
Let me see how to. What about now?
What you mean? The screen? I don't. Hold on. I still just see your face.
Okay. I don't know why I keep presenting to everyone.
Okay, now you got the screen up.
Oh, the screen was up. Hold on. Let me
Look, a minute ago.
Is it a lot of faces, or is it one?
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of faces.
I gotta figure out which one of these to use. Mm-hmm. Let me close some of these windows. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, you gotta close some of the windows up.
You see my screen now? Nope, it ain't up there still.
Nah. I think, yeah.
I don't know why all them what's calls keep popping up like that.
It looked like you got rid of. I put some. You know what? Put up what you about to what you trying to present. Just put that up. Let me see. Was that the presentation?
Yeah, that was let me put that up and see.
Put that up and just go through it. Let me see. Maybe it'll change as soon like if you pop it up there.
Alright.
Man, there's so much stuff going on. You see that GMS versus Gorilla Hebrew stuff too?
Yeah, I seen that.
Man, that man, this get more and more. You know what this look like, right?
What it look like?
You know when the Crips and the Blood started off, they started off just like how we are right now, with the Hebrews and the Comedics and all that. They started off just like, okay, now you rocking and rolling. You got the screen up. Okay, now you rocking. Now you could go to wherever you're trying to go to.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it. You good now?
I'm on Facebook.
Yeah, you on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm trying to get up off of Facebook. Trying to go to.
Just type in on your thing to the website you're trying to go to.
I know what I know what I need to do. Hold on for a minute. I need to get up out of here right here. Pop. Get up out of here. Oh man. What the hell is that? Man, Carl was having this problem the last time.
What is it? Blink. Hold on, let me see. You had it for a second just with that Facebook up.
Yeah. I had it for a second, and then but it wouldn't let me switch over from.
Look like it might be some kind of glitch.
You can and I don't know why this even do. Hold on, you know what? Let me see something real quick.
See, look, now they just okay.
It came back.
You did something that was different. Okay, it's like the size of the screen is changing size.
Yeah, I just slammed what's it called.
Okay, now it's like a black screen.
Man, I don't know what's up with this stop screen stuff.
Take you back to that.
I gotta get this right too, because all my information is on. Let me get this software right quick, matter of fact. And that should not definitely be doing that either. Somebody inboxing me, probably tell me how to do it. What's up, man? Look at him.
That's
Oh, man.
the new joint. That's the line of the tribe of Judah. No, that's the Judah cat.
Exactly. You know it. You know it.
Is my background still loud?
You good. Yeah, we ain't started yet.
Okay. What you hear? You just hear that TV in the background real loud, don't you?
Yeah, I hear that TV.
I have it turned down in a minute.
Oh, let me see something real quick, matter of fact. Man. I hate when stuff like this happen, man.
Technology, man.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. You said Jonathan agreed with Shakka breakdown of the David and the.
Yeah, he definitely agreed with him.
Oh man.
I said the same thing when I said this dude done lost his mind, man.
It's like, it's so crazy though. How come they're willing to bend and interpret when it comes to stuff like that, but when it comes to other stuff, they'll say no. That's what it says right there, face value.
It was just so exactly, and it was just so ingenuous, man. It was ridiculous, man. I said I couldn't believe he even agreed with the brother, man. I was just like, man, what's the deal?
Like, see, here's the thing. When they pull up all them pictures off the walls of Kemet, right? That's not a situation where I see some words and say, oh, wait a minute. You got something cracking right here.
Yeah, I was saying that.
Yeah. No, but here's the thing. When the people pull up them pictures, we're not saying, hey, well, if you flip this word and flip that word and flip that word, it could mean that. No, we just looking at the picture, and the picture is showing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, they could try to throw some metaphysical spin on it, but that's where the spin comes from. It doesn't come from what I'm looking at. But I guess they have to try to find something in the Bible to kind of counter that when when the brothers start posting up them pictures, man.
Man, it was so embarrassing, man. Like I said, I gotta definitely.
Nah, man, but man, somebody setting Shakka up, man. Somebody setting them up, man. Something ain't right. You got some up on there controls.
Man, I don't know what's this thing, man. It's supposed to be right, man.
Y'all say y'all think they set Shakka up.
I feel somebody setting them up, man, because, like, just think about it, man. out of all the people they chose to prove,
I know.
you know what I'm saying?
That's terrible, man.
Out of
Yeah,
all,
they hung him out there, man. I mean,
they,
out of all of them, he was the main one that should have been trying to sit in the cut. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Yeah,
like,
they. I don't know, but Nasi say it's a lot of cutthroatness going on in the House of Conscience. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't know who, but I'm just saying, you gonna have the guy that wears mascara and have and you gonna have him up there talking about how there's gay stuff in the Bible. That's a setup, man. I
Yeah,
feel sorry for the brother, man.
I don't.
I feel like somebody is misusing him.
I can see that. I can see that.
Like,
Hey, yo, trust me, brothers. I know the inside scoop with that, man. It's a lot of cutthroat. You, matter of fact,
Yeah,
the information that we getting, that's why this whole Kim versus is shut down. It's shut down.
hey, Mikael, man. Hey, Mikael, you there?
what up?
Hey, LaRon, you there?
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
We all need to bow our heads and give a prayer that Yeshaya can get the mic for this thing out.
Hey, stop talking about my mic.
Go ahead. His mic. I can't.
What's up with your mic, Sean?
I don't know, man. Y'all can hear me? I don't know.
Man, it sounds like you underwater, man.
Hey, bro, they trying to say you got. They trying to say you got a styrofoam cup with a string at the end of it.
Man.
All right, hold up. I'm about to get the real Wi-Fi. Hold up. I'm gonna use the Xfinity. Maybe I gotta hook up to the other Wi-Fi side.
Fix that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Hey, like Nick, you know, that's why they was beating up on him because his mic kept fading in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna
they
say
was
they was
smashed.
beating up on him. He was getting down with him. Bro.
Nah, because the mic, they couldn't hear him. Like, he could have had some good points, but his mic kept fading out. So it looked like they was getting him because they couldn't hear him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, you got some jokes, yeah.
They couldn't hear you, man.
Hey, I'm over here cracking up. Yeah. Y'all brothers for real, man.
Man, Joe.
I hear you now though, but you kind of sound like Megatron. Give me that
Hey, what y'all see
cube,
on my
boy.
screen?
I'm messing like Megatron. Come on, son. I'm about to get the
Give
password
me
right
that
now.
cube, boy.
Yo, man.
I'm so
I'm trying to
surprised
figure
ain't
out.
nobody.
Hey, Yeshaya. Hey, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, what, if anybody, I mean, Yeshaya, you know why, it's coming up with multiple screens like this?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's coming on multiple screens, man. I'm about to plug into my Wi-Fi right now, though. Hold up. We'll call back.
Oh, okay. Tell me what it is. How long y'all gonna be on here?
We probably be on a little minute. I gotta hurry. I mean, I got like to 11:30. That's why I
What
gotta
time
hurry
is
up and get.
You got to. Oh, you saying you got to 11:30 to get it live on the L? To get us live on the L?
Now we already live right now.
Oh, you talking about 11:30 Central Time, right? You on Central Time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So you really mean on my time? That's 12:30. It's 11 time. Okay, I'll be back, y'all. I'm finna my son gotta borrow the computer, y'all. So I'll be back. You should. I pray you have it together here, because we got stuff to talk about, man. That's crazy. They definitely put the phony pony out there to dry, man.
Man,
They hung him out there.
and I don't. He doesn't realize that. That's what made me. That's why I feel like, man, maybe I need to back off him a little bit, man.
Yeah, man, because he already got that unclean spirit on him. Whatever he dealing with, we ain't gonna, cast judgment. But y'all, everybody can see it's obvious, man. His own guys cracking on him. That's enough for him to deal with, and he just taking it out aggressively. But he think he attacking us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think to be honest with you, as intelligent as Shakka Exposed is, he the weakest link. He got too much spiritually going on with him, man. So
no, you know what? He's not the weakest link because he's stupid. He's the weakest link because he's the most emotional.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Unclean spirits lead men open for emotion, man. That's I know that for a fact. So yeah, I'll be back. I see you, King Yeshaya. I see Wayne. I see you, Alvin. I see you, G Conscious. I'll be back in a little while. I won't be too long.
So what's up, y'all? Y'all can hear me? Am I Sagatron?
You sound like R2D2 now, bro.
Oh man, come on. You got jokes, Yo, so what happened with this? What happened with the Shakka joint, man? Cause I seen him, up there ramping and raging, man. What's up with that, man?
Now I feel, here's what happened. I'm gonna blame this on them Hebrew brothers that put out them little videos with Shakka dancing and stuff, like saying he gay, like, cause a lot of them Hebrews was going in on him trying to make it seem like he's gay, and I don't think he's gay, but I think he just got fed up with all them Hebrews, like taking little clips from his music videos and like making little montages of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he got tired of that. So now that emotion is making him do some pseudo scholarship.
And you know what's so funny though, man? I understand something so clearly. That the art of war definitely is a psychological thing, man. This is why these brothers ain't gonna make it. Cause these guys is claiming they coming with scholarship. I can all of them. I'm coming with scholarship. They coming with emotions and ego. That's what they coming with. Because they feel like. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah. It's like someone like a Reggie, I thought was coming with the scholarship, but I even see him now getting kind of emotional.
Yo, did you see what Reggie did when I came on the Google chat? Did anybody see that?
See, I came in late, but man, I heard they was trying to I heard him say, yeah, you ain't representing the Hebrews right or something. That was the last thing I heard.
Yeah, like he said that, oh, we're dealing with scholarships. I'm like, okay, I'm up here for this reason. Like, somebody asked me a question, or let's get into something. This man literally excreminated in his pants, man. When I came up there, bro, he was like, oh, we got a Hebrew. This is what he was doing. And Jonathan clicked on the interlinear Bible from the Bible Hub, and Reggie just like, we're dealing with Hebrew right now. It's the Hebrew up there. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, y'all just lost all respect for this man, yo. I said, because you mad because Shaw was in there having you shut mouth. Now you want to try to take it out on the first person you don't even know nothing about. So I'm just up there like, wow, like, this is crazy. Sadetta told me, he asked me a question. This is what he asked me. He said, brother, do you think that Yah is using Sadetta to put the Hebrews on the throne, to unify the Hebrews? I said, hell no. So we never even got into a scholarly debate because they was asking stupid stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it was just stupid, bro.
See, this is what we got to learn to do. When they ask stupid stuff like that, you got to play the game. I played it like because what you do is this. You expose the lunacy of the question. That's what I do. You going to ask me a silly question, I'm going to play along and show how silly of a question it is. That's what happened when you got the truth behind you. that's what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, you know what's so funny though, bro? See, y'all dealt with these dudes before. I'm all about being serious. I don't take people lightly. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm jumping in the round with people that's going to actually use logic, and we're actually going to be able to sit down and be civil. These people are far from that. So really, when I start hearing stuff like that, just like when I was on a show, you know what I'm saying? I tried as much as I can to get them to comprehend something, but do it in the religious way. They wanted me to go the religious way. So
that's the trap. They want you to go religious.
I peeped it because they're not used to having people that are intelligent. Now one thing I can say though about that whole situation, okay, Brother Polite, I can build with him as I see. But when it comes down to Ankh and all of them, really it's almost to the point where it's just like I can't cast pearls to these swines, man.
Look,
so
like,
even
Assad Imhotep you can build with. Jonathan you can kind of build with.
And Gozi you can build with.
Even sometimes Polite you can build with. And even Reggie sometimes, I don't know what he's on lately, but
it's pride hurt, man.
Yeah,
Pride hurt.
He used to be somebody you could build with, but Brother Ankh, man, if as long as you worship Yahweh, he ain't trying to build with you.
It's cool, yo. You know what though, bro? It's cool though, cause you know why? I got the scoop. All right, listen, man. This whole debate, brothers been talking. The brothers that are debating, they've been already told me what they about to be doing. So it's plenty of times I could have went on that show, went on a Google chat and just been like shut down. But it's the simple fact of the matter is, man, I just want to look these brothers in the eyes when somebody really gonna be putting that boot to them, yo. I'm sorry, man. I love them brothers. They black. I love all my black brothers and sisters in the world. But when you talk idiotic and you want to hide behind scholarship because you don't want to believe in the truth or you don't want to respect somebody in their religious viewpoints, then I have no choice but to mock you or look into your eyes after the whole precious statement you made.
Now here's the technique I use. Because their reasoning is so lunacy, you can make them mock themselves. It's like, for example, when they say he talking about all that stuff with Jonathan and David, you know, you ask them simple questions. Like they said, well, that word exceeding, that means come. I'm like, okay, can you show me the damn, everybody left. Yo, what up, world? It's your boy Alvin, man. This ain't even my hangout, but I'm the only one on this bad boy. And I'm live. Any questions from the audience? Oh, there you go, LaRon. LaRon, you there?
Alvin, what happened?
My bad, bro. Go ahead.
Yes, for the girl, probably just get it in because I don't know what's up with this thing, man. I'm trying to get it right, but
There you go, right there.
oh, okay, yeah, that is it.
You got it.
Yeah, calm down, damn.
Yeah, man. All that hypocrisy, man, in that conscious community. And man, to be honest with you, man, look, I'll be ready to go up there and just slay all them dudes, man. I'm just too nice of a guy. But how many debates maybe done been in, man, and smashed, like, it's nothing, man. Like, if any of y'all was on the show last night, I guess I said something that triggered Ankh and Keck to want to try to take some notes. And when I broke down the Masada Astrakhan, that shows that Israel had writings had writings that precedes 3000 BC. Oh, he wanted to know all about that. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because it's like no matter what you're going to know, it's not going to defeat the fact that we had writings way before 300 BC. So it's going to prove that the Bible was written down by those who say that it was written down by, like, and it's in biblical Hebrew. So it's like there's a lot of stuff, man. I can really just shut them dudes down with, and then I talk to the dudes that y'all beefing with. Like they give me information, and they just be sitting up there just talking, laughing, joking, you know, thinking that they got this great scholarship. And to be honest with you, scholarship isn't a way to understand the truth. Scholarship is just knowing what somebody else told you. I refuse for a white man to go tell me what the Igbo or any black man that's not even a part of that tribe. I refuse to hear their knowledge on the Igbo. I want to hear it from the Igbo mouth. I refuse to see a book that's about China and I'm not referring to a Chinese man about this. Like, well, you know, this book saying that such and such. Nah, that's not true. Or, yeah, that's true. That's what them brothers mess up at. I talk to people overseas. Like, we talk, yo, I know daggone well, Alvin, you know a couple of African brothers that's claiming this Hebrew stuff that live overseas, yo. LaRon too, like, I know y'all do. That's why I be peeping y'all. When y'all be up there talking to them, I be like, yo, they know something, and they're at a original source versus what they got. What's in our Harvard or with any type of academics that's in America, man. They academics is bull of crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just funny. It's funny because they really setting themselves up. And I'm gonna be at that debate. I'm gonna be looking dead in their eyes, man. And it's just gonna be real funny, man, because you thought you knew something. You thought scholarship and academics can define the spirit.
You stay in New York?
Huh?
You stay in New York?
Well, you know what I'm saying? I be in the BX sometimes. I'm in Jersey, so it ain't nothing for me to get out there, and I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna be in Harlem, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get in there, and but I'll be out there sometimes though. But I'm in Jersey though.
Oh, okay, that ain't nothing but a hop, skittle, and a jump.
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all see that?
I'm looking dead at it, yeah.
Y'all see it clear?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see it. Go ahead. Okay, yeah, get the breakdown, LaRon.
Alright. I don't put y'all on mute. Put yourself on mute.
Got you.
Alright, we in 1 Samuel 7:39, right? So this was Shakka Exposed was dealing with. He says, but he didn't see this, so I'm going to go in on this. It says, and David girded his sword upon his armor. And that's very important because it says David girded his sword upon his armor. So we know when we're talking about a girdle or girded, we know that we're talking about a sword that's on on a girdle on his side to hold up his sword. So that's very important. So I wanted to jump to that real quick, and then I'm finna jump over to 18 now. And we're going to get the whole context of this. 1 Samuel 18:1 says, and it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. And Jonathan loved him as his own soul. Now, number one is this. If you notice, it says, and it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking to Saul. So one of the things that Shakka Exposed did was he put it like Saul and David, Jonathan and David was just in this room by themselves, and they basically was finna get it on, or they got it in. You see what I'm saying? So that's basically what he said. So emphasizing on it. But we see here that David spoke and said something, matter of fact. And one of the things he spoke and said, if we go down to all the way down to 17, 1 Samuel 17 and 58, the last verse, it says, well, verse, let me go up a little bit. Verse 57, it says, and David returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, and Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistines in his hand. And Saul said to him, whose son art thou, thou young man? And David answered and said, I am the son of thy servant Jesse the Bethlehemite. So we see him talking here. Then we jump over, and it jumps over to the next chapter. So, and it says, and it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking. In other words, when he got done speaking to Saul about whose son he was, which was Jesse, he says that the soul, it says after he got done speaking, it says that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. So this is an actual scene that we see here of David, Saul speaking, and then as soon as he got done speaking, the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. And Jonathan loved him as his own. Now the context of this is when you start off reading 17 and you read down, there is a battle that took place between Goliath and David. So David is seen as being a hero, and so immediately he's brought before Saul, as we see in the text here, and as he's brought before Saul, then after he gets done talking, when Saul asks him, "Whose son art thou?" Jonathan his soul began to be knit with David's. So we see this taking place. Now understand this. David was a man after God's own heart. So when you see a man that is and you sense an anointing on him, and you see that he defeated the Philistines, and then you looking at a nation that went through a judge period of the judges, and also with Moses coming up out of Egypt, then you know and see that the hand of God is with this man. So Jonathan seen this, and immediately when he seen it, his soul was knitted with David. So let's look up that word soul, because this is what the brother was dealing with. Let's look up that word real quick, because I'm not going to play no games with it. We're going to get off into the text and get some understanding here, because you got to get the context of the story. Look up that word real quick. I got it up here. It's let me get this up out of here. This program is called Word Search 7. Got everything in it. So we got the word no, it's 15 actually. Excuse me. Nefesh. Can y'all hear that? Y'all heard that, Alvin? The shot.
Yep. Yep, okay. I hear it. I hear it.
We got Nefesh. The root of it is 53:14. Now this is the root of it is Nafash, and you find that text in you can find Nafash. You can find that text in Genesis when we talk about the soul of a man or the inner man. So let's go down and let's look at this and see what this is saying to us. It's from 53:14. Nahash. Properly a breathing creature, i.e. animal or abstract vitality, used very widely in a literal, accommodated, or figurative sense, bodily or mental, in an appetite, beast, body, breath, creature, dead, desire, contented, fish, ghost. So we have different concepts of this word, right? But for the most part, when we get down, it says soul. So what is the soul? That's very important. The soul is the inner man. Now, I find it very odd that this brother will basically use soul as being a bodily thing. Now, understand this. There are different usages of this word, but we must understand the application. Remember, this is not body contact that is taking place, because we see that Saul is addressing David and David is answering him, and Jonathan is also right there. And we see the and as the conjunction after letting us know that this came forth right after chapter 17 at the ending of 17 and 58, right? So look, in Kemet, the soul is the ba. That's what we see. The soul is the ba of a man. So when we see this, we know that the spirit is the ka. So we must understand that this is dealing with the inner man of a man. So when we deal with the vessel of a man, which they say in Kemet, the vessel of a man is that which is which contains the spirit and the soul, or the ka and the ba, right? So these are the aspects that we see even in Kemet. So what's amazing is this brother got up and know this equivalent to the body in Kemet. So why would you come over here and use soul as being the body? I don't understand that. Where did he get that from? So when you sing the comedics, or when you sing the hieroglyphs, or when you sing the funerary text, what you will have is the king or the servant in back of the king with a vessel, which they call the vessel, and supposedly inside of the vessel was the ba and the ka, and not just those, but there are 7 aspects of in Egyptian religion that deals with the entity or soul of a man, basically just the whole build up or makeup of a man. So this brother, he goes and he uses basically the soul as being the body here. When we see that is not the application, that is not the usage that should be applied here, because we see there is no sexual contact of anything here, because these two are seated before the king, Jonathan being the son. It says, and Saul took him that day and would let him go more home to his father. In other words, he took him in and made him a soldier or by hire in his military. It says, then Jonathan and David made a covenant, because he loved him as his own soul. Because he loved him as his own soul. Now, that's very important, and that's very vital, because today, Mikael did a video of the biblical text saying in the New Testament of John, saying that the Christ said that greater love did no man have except he laid down his life for his friend. This is the type of love that we're talking about. We're not talking about no type of love, this intimacy love of contact of a male and a female. It has nothing to do with that. There's a love that surpasses that type of love. That does not deal with intimacy of the flesh. And it says, and Saul took him in that day with him, and would let him go home, no more home to his father's house. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant. Now understand, they made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan, now watch this. This is the son, and this son is the one who is Saul's heir. So he is the one who's supposed to receive the promise, basically, or the throneship, or the kingship. He is the prince. So let's see what he stripped himself of and gave to David. He said, then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him. Now this is all being done in front of Saul. Let's stop playing games and get the context, and let's get in it. And it says, and he gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle. In other words, we read earlier that the girdle consists of holding the artillery up, or holding the weaponry up. So we see him giving in his robe. Guess what robe he gave him? His prince robe. He gave him his robe. He honored him with his robe, basically, because David basically stood up in the place as a king, and therefore it was Jonathan recognized this. So let's continue on, because it's real simple. It's not hard at all. It says, then Jonathan, it says, and Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him, and he gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle. He gave him all his armor that he had. All his armor that he had, he gave it unto David. He says, and David went out whatsoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely, because you must understand that when David came and into the field, and he came into Saul, David came with basically a slingshot. A slingshot that basically was a war weapon that he can sling and probably split a hair with that slingshot, first off. So we see this.
I can't hear you, Art.
See, so what's up? What's going on?
I couldn't hear you for a second. You back on now. Go ahead, bro.
How long was I off?
For like 2 seconds. Wasn't that long, like 5 seconds.
Okay, it says it's also okay. So it says, then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him, and he gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle. So we read earlier about when we deal with the girdle. The girdle is the things that hold the weaponry up. And David went out whatsoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul sent him over the man of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. So here we see David gaining favor, not only from the people, not only from Jonathan, which was the prince, which was the heir, which was the next heir to receive the throne, but we see that he gained favor with the people likewise. So Jonathan's soul is knit with David's. He's soul tied with David. He's soul tied with the destiny of David. And had he followed David, he would have never died, as we're going to read on in the text. He would have never died. He would have been with David and his seed after him with David. So we see that this man is knit to David, which is a man after God's own heart, and has been anointed to be king next. So let's continue on real quick, because it's finna get grimy around here. Let's jump down real quick. See, Shakka, man, he's not reading the context of this at all. So you have to read the context to actually understand the text.
Hey, bro, I just want to say one quick thing, man. Everything you saying, they know that's what it says. That's the part that tripped me out. They know that it says all of this is happening in public. When you read, it's right there. Right there. But yet they still make videos saying that it's not. That's the part that I can't deal with right there.
Yeah.
Man, go ahead, bro.
Now, real quick though, what was Shaka's approach to the girdle? Was girdle like a word that he was using to make it seem like he was completely naked or something? I just wanted to know, like.
Yeah, he said butt naked. He's saying that David was butt naked right here, but when you read the chapter, it doesn't say that.
Wow. So he took the word girdle, which is what you hold the weapon with, and you can find that many times in the scriptures. He took that as in he got butt naked. Okay.
Go ahead, LeBron.
So it was just ridiculous. Let's continue on. And it came to pass as they came, and it came to pass. Now here's where the conflict coming in at. Mind you not, David just been slaying and getting rid of the Philistines. So everybody, he gained favor with Jonathan, which was the son of Saul. And now he gained favor with the people. So just look at this and look how Saul gonna start viewing this man. And it came to pass as they came when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of the cities of Israel singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul have slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day forward. Understand this. This man is looking at David gaining favor from his son, and now gaining favor from the people, and then the women are going around singing. So he eyed David like, oh, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? What's next? What, they gonna desire him to be king and give him the kingdom? Let's continue on. It says, and Saul was afraid of David. Understand this. When a man see that you have favor on your life, and he see the anointing is given David, and he see that he is king, and there is something that's in that man that is not walking upright with the Most High, that man will fear you. He will be afraid of you, as we see in this text, because the Lord was with David and was departed from Saul. Therefore Saul, and understand this, you must read a little in the latter text to understand why the Lord was departed from Saul. Therefore Saul removed him from him and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people. So then Saul didn't even want him around him. He got him from up under him. He couldn't stand to look at him, basically. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him. Come on, man. The Lord was with this man. This man had a spirit of excellence on him at the time, and he was behaving himself wisely. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. See what I'm saying? This man had wisdom. This man was behaving himself wisely. So therefore Saul sought to, and Judah loved David. Come on, man. They loved this man because he went out and came in before them. All of Israel loved this man. This man was there on a daily basis. If he wasn't like the president, and where he had people all around him where he couldn't speak to you. No, this man came in and out amongst these people on a daily basis. And Saul said to David, behold, my elder daughter Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. For Saul said, let not my hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him. And David said unto Saul, who am I? And what is it, my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? So David really ain't knowing what's going on. He ain't even knowing that Saul eyed him like this. He ain't knowing that Saul finna try to get at him and try to kill him, because the favor is on David, and the people love this man. It says, and Saul's spirit spake to the words in the ears of David, and where am I at? And Saul commanded his servants, saying, commune with David secretly. Nah, this ain't it. I'm all out of proportion. Here it is, right here. I'm tripping. I'm not gonna read all this. I'm finna start skipping over. I'm just giving y'all bits and pieces until I really get to what I need to get to, and then we're gonna open up the mics and unmute, and then we're gonna get busy. And David said unto Saul, who am I? And what is it, my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? But it came to pass at that time, when Merab Saul's daughter should have been given to David, that she was given unto Adriel the Mahulahite to wife. And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David. So here it is. This brother was supposed to give his daughter unto David, but he ended up doing something else. So Michael's Saul's daughter loved and the thing pleased him. So in other words, the other daughter, she loved David, basically. You know what I'm saying? So they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him. Look at him. And that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Wherefore Saul said to David, thou this day be my son-in-law and the one of the twain. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, commune with David secretly, and said, delight in thee, and all his servants love thee. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. So basically, this is what we see going on. So let's get to the nitty-gritty. So we see already, I'm just doing a build of what's going on here. And it is understanding after that, then you just a rebel, and you don't want to deal with the theology at all. Let's get to it. Wherefore David arose and went. Go down a little bit more.
I just want to say one quick thing, man. I just feel it's such a shame that you have to make a PowerPoint explaining that the sky is blue.
Oh man.
I mean, I just don't understand. Like, you have to go, you're literally making a PowerPoint that is trying to convince people that the sky is blue and it got clouds in it. Because they're telling you it's pink with yellow polka dots. That's what they're telling you. So you have it. I mean,
exactly.
It's madness. Go ahead, bro.
You bringing out some real good stuff, bro. And this not only touches on the topic that David was not a homosexual, but this also gives us an in-depth look at what was going on at that time to see why Saul was really fueled and mad, not just because the kingdom was going to be stripped from him, but because of his son giving honor to David, his son understanding that David is going to play an important role in Israel. You know what I'm saying? A father would be devastated to know that his son is not going to be able to take the throne to precede him, man. So you're bringing out some revelation as well when it comes down to this text. So good job, bro.
Yeah. So you know, as Yeshaya said and as Alvin said, you know, it's being clarified and brought out. You know, and you know, he's elegant with his speaking. So the brother, you know, he clarified and brought some things out. And so we need to take heed to these things and see what's going on in this context and stop playing games. It says, Saul spake to Jonathan his son and to all his servants, Saul my father seeketh to kill thee. Now therefore I pray thee, take heed to thyself until the morning and abide in a secret place. Hold on, I just skipped over something that was important. Now let me bring this out real quick because I just ran across this, and this is something that Jonathan was dealing with, and I want to bring this out too when we talk about the foreskins. Because understand this, I just broke down to y'all how this wicked king Saul basically was anointed by God, but since the anointing fell up off of Saul, Saul began to ask wicked deeds and doeries for David to do. So let's look at one of the wicked deeds and doeries that he asked David to do. You know, there was basically was a foolish thing to do in order for David to be given to his daughter. It says, and Saul said, thus shalt thou say to David, the king desired not any jewelry, basically, but an 100 foreskins of the Philistines to be avenged of the king's enemy. See, this is what he asked for, 100 foreskins of the Philistines. Now, this is very disrespectful and dishonorable, to be honest. And I'm going to show you what David did, basically let him know, look, hey, you asking for 100 foreskins, and I definitely love your wife, and you've been really disrespectful for reals. But watch what David gonna do. Not only will I give you 100, I'm gonna give you 200 of these skins and throw them right before your face, basically. I don't know what you're gonna do with them, but here you is, and I'm gonna go by my way, basically. So let's look at this. And Saul said, "Thus should ye say to David, the king desired not any jewelry, but 100 foreskins of Philistines to be avenged of the king's enemies. But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines." This is a task that he gave David that he thought that was gonna be hard to David. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law, and the days were not expired. It says, "Wherefore David arose, went he and his men, and slew of Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in full tale to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law, and Michal his daughter to wife. And Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him." So basically, David was definitely in love with Saul's wife. I mean, with Saul's daughter. And not only that is, he at the whole time his main thing was he really wanted to please the king or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And have favor with the king. You know, and Saul sought something a different way, totally different. So David is looking at the whole thing or whatever, and at this time David not really knowing what's going on. But what he did was it was like a mockery thing. In other words, this is not something that the children of Israel just went and just cutting foreskins. This is not something. This is something that came forth from a wicked king, and this wicked king basically had them to do this because.
Hey, I just want to make one little quick comment about that. What you're doing is so important right here in bringing this out, because this is a common problem when it comes to the Bible. People don't understand what the commandments of men are, what is the commandments of God are, and what are the events that take place. A lot of times atheists and comedics like to bunch all of those three things in together. You know, we have to separate what did man command another man to do and what did God command. God didn't tell David to go out there and cut them foreskins. Saul did.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And yo, I just gotta add this too. We see the basic concepts of the Bible explaining how us as humans interact with daily lives. Because if you notice, that's what a brother does today sometimes, man. Matter of fact, back in the day, that was prominent. You had to please the father to get the woman. You know what I'm saying? And you see this happening right here. Exactly. It's just showing you that that was how things went in that time. Today it might be a little different. The dad might want you to be this intellect or a person that gets a lot of money, and you got brothers out here that would try to please that father to show them I'm good enough to be with your daughter. I'm just saying you can draw these concepts out of this story. Exactly. You can do that.
Exactly. So it's very basic. It ain't nothing just spectacular about this text where we can say, "Oh, this is deep." No, this is basic right here. The text is basic. It's just people try to make it otherwise. So it says, so he did the little task that he sent him with, and Saul was pissed off basically. You know what I'm saying? But he knew automatically that the Most High was with David. So let's get off of chapter 19, and we're getting shortly around to chapter 20. We ain't gonna go through this whole chapter, but I want to pull some things out of here real quick. And Saul spake to Jonathan his son, and to all his servants, that they should kill David. So we see now Saul speaking to Jonathan and his servants. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, "Saul my father seeketh to kill thee. Now therefore I pray thee, take heed to thyself until the morning, and abide in a secret place and hide thyself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee. And what I see, that will I tell thee." And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, "Let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he have not sinned against thee, and because his works have been to thee were very good." Let's go down a little bit. "For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistines. And the Lord wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against innocent blood to slay David without a cause? And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul swore, as the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain. As the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain. And Saul and Jonathan called David, and Jonathan showed him all those things, and Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as in times past. Okay, so we see a mending there after Jonathan talked to Saul, after the son talked to Saul. It says, and there was a war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines and slew them with a great slaughter, and they fled from him. And the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand. And David played with his hand. Now I want to bring out something when you talk about the evil spirit from the Lord. Now understand this. Let's get this in context right here, because I'm not going to let y'all take this and try to run with it and try to say, see, the evil spirit from the Lord. Number one is this. The Most High allows, as we see in the text, when men have seek to be rebellion, he will allow a spirit that we see that has a fallen spirit that has fallen prior to, before man came to this earth. He will allow that spirit to be on you, or to be sent to you, basically. Because after he's seen that you will not hearken to him, you basically give that spirit grounds by means to be on you.
Hey, I just want to touch one little context more into this concept, what you're talking about. When you read the Apocrypha book, the Testament of Solomon, it actually explains what you just said. Like, each one of these demons are ruled by an angel. And these demons are like pit bulls used to carry out certain evils. So that what you're talking about is like a real ancient concept right there that people don't really talk about in these forums, you know.
Exactly. So as we see the Most High, when he sees it, there's no by means that you are walking in the territory of the enemy, he definitely will allow a spirit to come upon you. He definitely will send that spirit to come upon you, because understand this, and I want y'all to get this. If you know the book of Job, he told Satan, he said, "Hast thou considered my servant Job?" He asked him a question. In other words, he asked you. In other words, you've been considering my servant Job. You've been watching my servant Job. So number one is this: Satan. When Satan sees to sift someone as wheat, or come before somebody, or to come among them, the first thing he does is he goes to the Father, and he says, he considers that person, and if that person gives them leeway, then guess what? He's going to come and he's going to torment your behind. So we see this taking place in the book of Job. We see that Saul here is in rebellion against the Most High. So guess what? Consideration was brought unto the Father, the Most High, and God allowed that spirit to be sent on him without further ado, because God seen that he cannot hedge Saul about anymore because of his rebellion. So now you're on his grounds now. Now you're on Satan's grounds now. So only thing God can do is allow that spirit to be sent unto you, and for you to basically be in torment with this spirit until you definitely fall, basically. Let's continue on. It says, Saul also sent messengers into David's house. Hold on. It says, and Saul sought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin. I'm sorry, I skipped over something. It says, and the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand. And David played with his hand. And Saul sought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin, but he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. So here it is. David starting to look at he's looking and seeing what his father-in-law is doing, basically. It says Saul also sent messengers into David's house to watch him and to slay him in the morning. So now the heat is back on now. Now he's ready to get at him now. And Michael's David's wife told him, saying, if thou save not thy life tomorrow thou should be slain. So Michael let David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped. And Michael took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with a cloth. And when Saul sent messengers to take David, she said, he is sick. And Saul sent the messengers again to see David, saying, bring him up to me in the bed that I may slay him. So we see this is what's taking place. So let's jump down. It's giving y'all what's going on, baby. So David ended up fleeing. David fled. His wife told him that my dad, he's seeking to kill you. So David fled, and we're gonna jump down here real quick to Jonathan. Let's jump up right here to and he went and it says, and he stripped off his clothes also and prophesied before Samuel in like manner and lay down naked all that day. You know, just dealing with Saul and the prophets. When he stripped off his clothes and began to prophesy, because he had lost his mind. It says David consults with Jonathan for his safety. It says, and David fled from Neot into Ramah and came and said before Jonathan, what have I done? What is my iniquity? And what is my sin before thy father that he seeketh my life? And he said unto him, God forbid that thou should not die. Behold, my father will do nothing, either great or small, but that he will show it me. See, he had not told Jonathan that he was back on his foolishness again. Saul didn't tell it. See, Jonathan ain't knowing this. Because remember, he had already told Jonathan, swore to him that he wasn't going to trust David. So Jonathan ain't knowing what's going on. Jonathan probably was off into battle somewhere, you know, other than seeing what was going on. It says that, but that he will show it me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? Is it not so? And David swore moreover and said, thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes. In other words, your father already know I found grace in your eyes. He ain't finna tell you nothing, Jonathan. He know my soul knit with you. He know we cool, we tight. He know this already, lest he be grieved. But truly, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death. In other words, David said, hey, as the Lord liveth, there is but a step between him and death. See, a lot of us has a step between us, and we don't even realize it. We a step away from death, and we don't understand that. But we still out here playing games with it. You know what I'm saying? Understand, when David said, this is the same David that said, yea, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. See, your death is like a shadow on you. So that's why he said a step away, because as you step, hey, guess what? The shadow of death is right there, seeking to take you out. Let's continue on. We ain't gonna sidestep. And David, it says, and David swore moreover and said, thy father certainly knoweth. Let's jump down, I'm sorry. Then Jonathan said unto David, whatsoever thy soul desire, I will do it for thee. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the king at meat, but let me go, that I may hide myself in the field until the third day at even. If thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me, that he might run to Bethlehem, his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. It says, if he say thus, it is well, thy servant shall have peace. But if he be very wroth, then be sure that evil is determined by him. Therefore thou shalt deal kindly with thy servant, for thou hast brought thy servant into a covenant of the Lord with thee. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me thyself. For why shouldest thou bring me to thy father? Now understand this. We talked about a covenant earlier that Jonathan and David made. He said, therefore thou shalt deal kindly with thy servant. In other words, this man Jonathan is calling David, he's a servant of David. In other words, that's what he's saying. He said, thou should deal kindly with thy servant. And this is the prince. This is the one who shall be heir to the throne. Therefore shall thou deal kindly with thy servant, for thou hast brought thy servant into a covenant of the Lord with thee. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me thyself. For why shouldest thou bring me to thy father? It says, and remember the covenant that they made in the beginning when he took off his girdle and took off his armor and gave it to Jonathan and to David, letting them know, hey, bro, hey, look, this is a matter of fact, this is a custom in the East. In other words, if you took off your armor and you gave it to somebody else, you're taking off everything that you have and you're putting it into this man's hands to protect you. And this man can protect you because he's anointed, and this is the man that slew Goliath the giant. And Jonathan said, for be it far from thee. For if I knew certainly that evil were determined by my father to come upon thee, then would not I tell it thee? So this is what we see what's going on. So like as I said before, Jonathan basically takes all his armor out and give it to David. You know what I'm saying? This is showing you that this man is basically loved David like he loved himself, basically, to give this man his own armor. And Jonathan said, and they went out both of them into the field. And Jonathan said unto David, our Lord God of Israel, when I have sounded my father about tomorrow any time on the third day, and behold, if there be good toward David and I, then sin not unto thee and show it thee. Hold on. Then sin not unto thee and show it thee. It says, then the Lord do so, and much more to Jonathan, if it please my father to do the evil. Then will I show it thee, and send thee away, that thou mayest go in peace. And the Lord be with thee, as he have been with my father. And thou shalt not only, while yet I live, show me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not. Because he already know David been anointed to be king. But also, thou shalt not cut off thy kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Lord have cut off thy enemies. David, every one of, let me read this again. I'm tripping. My eyes getting watery. And thou shalt not only, while yet I live, show me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not. But also thou should not cut off thy kindness from my house forever. In other words, Jonathan said, hey, look, show me kindness. You know, he basically mentioning the covenant and making the covenant with him, reestablishing the covenant of saying, show me kindness that I die not. Because even though his father tripping, he like, don't involve me in it, nor my seed. Watch what he finna say. But also thou should not cut off the kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Lord have cut off the enemies of David. He says, no, not when the Lord have cut off the enemies of David, everyone from the face of the earth. In other words, he know his father is an enemy unto David, basically. So he know eventually David is gonna cut him off and possibly his seed just as well, as we see in the text, which he really did cut off, not Jonathan's side, but he cut off Saul's seed, basically, as we see in the text. But Jonathan found favor because of the covenant that was established right here, as we see. It says, so Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David. In other words, Jonathan making this covenant with him. See, this is the covenant that Shakka Utmost is not looking at. This clown that went and pulled some stuff out, and I don't know if the ponytail was in his face and he wasn't reading the text right. But this brother then went and pulled something out the text that is not correct. And as we see, he did not get the full context before he did his presentation or whatever he did. I can't believe he did that. It says, and Jonathan caused David to swear again. It says, so Jonathan made a covenant with the house of the Lord, David, saying, let the Lord even require it at the hand of David's enemy. And Jonathan caused David to swear again because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. His soul is not. See, look, another thing is this: the Egyptians will take the brain of the body, scrape it out through the nostrils, and throw it smooth in the trash. But they will preserve the rest of the body parts and keep mainly the heart, because the heart was the soul. The heart was basically determined the love or the emotions of a person, which is the soul. The soul is that which was able to feel, touch. Is the gate to it is the gate to the spirit, basically. What you allow to enter in through your ear gate and through your eye gate, and also what you eat enters into enter into the soul of a man, and then also to the spirit that's attached to the man, basically, because the spirit is attached to the soul, and they both are housed by the vessel or the body or the flesh, basically. So the Egyptians dealt with the heart, and the heart was the emotions. I had some notes on this. I didn't left my paperwork upstairs, but hopefully when we watch call, because I definitely got some notes on this, and this is very important. Huh?
You know what's so funny though? The Bible always describes the soul, or the soul in the mind of the man. You know what I'm saying? So that's even a backward concept, that if the Comedics were doing that, just taking the brain, throwing it out, but keeping the heart. You talk about the heart that pumps the blood through the body. Well, the Bible always signifies the mind as being the heart. And just as you said, because of context, which a lot of these brothers do not know, so they would take words and they would go for the literal meaning, but they would not go for the contextual meaning, because the nefesh also can mean desire. So Jonathan is only desiring to be basically, him and David has the same desire to see the prosperity of Israel. That's why he loved them as himself. That's why he loved them as his own self, because he knew himself and he knew what he wanted. He also wanted for Israel, the prosperity of Israel, and the Most High to bless Israel and uplift them. So it makes sense. It's contextual, and if they're gonna read it and they do this, they pull up the Strong's. They do all of that. They go for the literal meaning of the word, and they do not go for the contextual meaning of it, or they do not go for the sub-definitions of the word. Therefore, they should not be able to go inside of our book and try to decipher anything, because they're not looking at it in a theological standpoint. You need the theology to go with the history. They fell in there.
Exactly. And what's so crazy is because Jonathan was, I believe, was way older than David. Because remember, when David came into the army, David was a little boy at that time, and they was mocking him. But Jonathan took him up under his wing, basically, and knew already that this man was actually, I think he was more older than David. And that's what's so crazy, is because they don't understand that. You would think they was the same age, but they wasn't the same age, because Jonathan took off his armor and he gave it unto David. And when he gave it unto David, remember, they was already teasing David and saying he was a boy, that he couldn't even come and fight. But Jonathan was in the army.
That's right. It makes a lot of sense, because why would you tease somebody for being young, but you yourself got somebody young as a prince with some armor on?
Exactly. You got it. So let's get moving. It says then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new. Okay, look, I didn't. Okay, and Jonathan, it says, then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou should be missed, because, and another thing, Jonathan Owens, man, look, your name is all in here, bro. You need to just fall down, man, and get up under anointed, man, and stop playing, man, like Jonathan did. we ain't gonna be playing with you, man.
He gonna have to get that scholarly armor up.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That scholarly armor up, bro.
Yeah, it says, and when thou hast stayed, it says, then Jonathan said to David, now we see the covenant been established, basically what he want, saying, I know my father tripping, and we know already, it had been prophesied already that through Samuel and through the Most High that he gonna get rid of Saul. Because we see that early on in the chapters. If we go farther, you will see the whole vivid picture of it. Like, you can visualize and see what's taking place. Saul had been already why you think they were standing back until David King was getting smashed on by the Philistines? Because Saul had departed from the Lord. And when he had departed from the Lord, that brother was in fear. So it took David, who was anointed to be king to come and put it in and put in that work. Basically, he had been anointed. See, you got to get the man. I'm telling you, you got to get the narrative of this. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then shalt thou go down quickly and come to the place where thou hidest thyself from when from business was in that and from when the business was in hand, and thou shalt remain by the stone. Let's get past this real quick. Let's get past this. I'm giving y'all, y'all see it. I see it. David hiding basically. Let's get to Jonathan's conversation. And the king said, that's 25. Verse 25, 20 and 25. And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon his seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Okay, we're gonna see he finna get the inquiring of David. Now watch it. This is what I want to get to. It says, then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan. Then Saul, hold on, let's see. Then Saul, he's asking about David, and Jonathan finna give him word. It says, then Jonathan gave him word. He says, then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said it to him, thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman. In other words, he gets to talking about Jonathan's mother. In them ancient days, you talk about somebody's mother, that was mad disrespect. And it's mad disrespect now. One of the things is you could talk, a dude might tell you, hey, you could talk about me, but don't talk about my mother. That's ancient when we be saying that.
Word.
That's ancient context, and we don't even know it. You can talk about me, but you talk about my mother, we gonna be squabbing, scrapping, and that's how it was. Don't put my mother in this. Remember we used to say that on the bus. Don't put my mother in this. We squabbing, scuffling on the bus. So let's get it in. It says, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and to the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established. Look what he telling. Look what he telling. Look what he telling Jonathan. As long as David is living on the ground, Jonathan, you ain't gonna be established. You won't be king, brother. But what he don't know is Jonathan had already took off his girdle and gave it to the anointed David already, because he knew David was gonna be king. He knew it. He said, for as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Come on now. Let's get it. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. And Jonathan answered Saul his father and said unto him, wherefore shall he be slain? What have he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. Come on, man, let's get this, man. We ain't playing with this.
Dang, man.
And so Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger and did eat no meat the 2nd day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. It says, and it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with David, and a little lad with him. And he said unto his lad, run and find out now the arrows which I shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the lad was come to the place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad and said, is not the arrow beyond thee? And Jonathan cried after the lad, make speed, haste, and stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master, but the lad knew not anything. Only Jonathan and David knew the matter. In other words, this is the thing, this is part of the token of the covenant that he was going to basically show him. He after they made the covenant, they made a token of these arrows and to give word so he can come and meet with him. And Jonathan gave his artillery unto his lad and said unto him, go, carry them to the city. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of the place toward the south and fell on his face to the ground. David is sick. He's in hiding. He's sick. And he says, and fell on his face to the ground and bowed himself 3 times, and bowed himself 3 times and kissed one another, and bowed himself 3 times and kissed one another. Another one kissed they, and they kissed one, remixed that, and fell on his face to the ground and bowed himself 3 times and kissed one another. I remixed that because I want y'all to understand this. This is a custom. He bowed himself 3 times. This is custom in the Middle East. And they kiss one another and wept with one another. In other words, when you was to meet someone and you met a king or someone that was a prince, you was to bow yourself to that person. But they bowed themselves to each other because guess what? Jonathan considered him to be king of Israel, the next king, and to be the Lord's anointed. And David seen that he was the prince and he was the one to receive a kingdom from his father. And David still honored him as that. So this is custom in the Middle East. So when you would bow yourself 3 times, then you would kiss on each side of the cheek. Come on, man, let's get this. And it says, come on, Shakka, utmost stop playing, man. We do this. We ain't out here playing. And as soon as the lad was gone, it says, hold on, let's go down a little bit. Where is it at? 41. That's where we was at. 41. Let me go up. And as soon as the lad was gone, and Jonathan gave, as soon as, hold on, I'm tripping. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of a place toward the south and fell on his face to the ground and bowed himself 3 times. And they kissed one another and wept with one another until David exceeded. Now this brother took this word exceeded, and let's show you what he did. Now you got to remember this. This is a man of war. David is. David is crying. He's weeping. And Jonathan. Remember, Jonathan is older than David. Remember that. Remember this. He's older than David, so he's confident in David. But David is a warrior. So let's look at that word, what exceeded mean. Because this is the word that this brother tried to use and try to trick us. But for those that know the text, we're no fools, brother. I shouldn't have to be giving y'all this whole context like this, man. It's ridiculous.
It is, man. Very, very ridiculous, man. It shows that people want to still play these nitpicking games, man. They playing the game with these brothers that's not intellectual, man.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
That word is 1431.
And here's the problem, LaRon. It goes back to a black folk, I don't know if this is a Hebrew or African tradition or whatever. It all goes back to playing the dozens. I'm going to talk about your mama. Now I'm going to try to find a way to talk about your mama. And we going to go back and forth with this.
Exactly.
And how in the world did that get into scholarship? How did that happen?
Exactly.
Because now they need to find something to combat the pictures that the Hebrews be posting on. They have to find something. Well, you posting all our pictures. Well, look at, but the reach is so far that you have to flip and bounce so many words to make the narrative fit, and then you have to leave out the context. But they know that's not what it means. That's my only issue I got with it.
Let's look this word up real quick. Let's pronounce it for you. Gadal. That's it. So it's H 1431. Gadal. Let's look it up. Vine words. In the vines, it means to magnify. In other words, David, it means to exceed. We see it says until David exceeded. Now this brother used this context as to say David was enlarged, as in penis enlargement. Excuse my language if kids are listening in. But as a private part,
wow.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Wow.
And it says,
wow, I'm stunned.
Yeah, man. It's ridiculous, ain't it, man? It's ridiculous. It ain't right. It don't get no righter. All right, so let's get it in. It says, magnify 32. It's used. Look how many times it's used as magnified. 32 times. Great as 26. Grow as 14. Nourish up as 7. Grow up as 6. Greater 5. And miscellaneous 25 basically. Total count 115. Let's break down and see what this is meaning. It says it says a primitive root properly to twist compared with 1434 basically Gadal, i.e. etc. to be causative, make large in various sense as in body, mind, estate or honor, also in pride, advance, boast, bring up, exceed, excellent, be, come do, give, make, wax great. Come to estate. Things grow up, increase, lift up, magnify. Be much set by, nourish up, pass, promote, proudly, spoken, tower. Now here it is. This man David is weeping. Jonathan is consulting to him. He weeping. And as we see him weeping, we see that this man is also a warrior as well. So so it says, and wept one with another until David exceeded. So immediately David snapped up out of it, and guess what he did was got back great, got back strong again, shook it off, and guess what he did? Got back to himself, to his warrior mode. So this is what we're saying is going on here. Now let's see if we can get from what was for the application of enlargement of how your boy Jonathan agreed with it, and also Jawahu agreed with it, and also as Shakka Utmost falsely brought about.
So you trying to tell me that they can't? This man is being nourished up when somebody's crying, and you're trying to uplift them. What are they to do? They're gonna get hard. They're gonna say, you know what? I'm turned through about it. Like, come,
yeah, man. Yeah, that's good.
LeBron, I got a question though, bro.
Yeah.
What get larger? If you're gonna say it means that, it don't say a private part or anything at all. If they want to go with the narrative that okay, it means he got larger, what this is what I'm saying. They just want to pick some things that could mean that. Man, I can make verses in the Bible mean what I want to mean if I really tried to. But that's not how you do scholarship, man. This is ridiculous.
Now watch this. Let's go to it and look at the other words on exceeded. Watch this. And it's just ridiculous, man. We shouldn't have to be doing this. It's finna get crazy.
I'm appalled, yo. I'm really appalled, man, because I'm thinking I'm dealing with intellects, man. I'm looking at people that's actually creating their own understanding of scriptures that they don't even believe, and they get mad when people interpret Kemet this way. It's mad hypocrisy in it, man.
All right, this word is it's mad hypocrisy. Now this word is used. Basically. This word is used 3 times. This verse is found. It's found in 1 Samuel 20:41 as we are at, and it's also in 1 Kings 10:23. Now, in none of these times is this verse used for the application of what he said to be enlarged by the genital. Watch this. The second place it is used in 1 Kings 10:23. So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom. Now, this is the same application of 14:31. And we see this is not talking about penis enlargement. This is not what this is talking about.
Wow.
Here's another time where it's used.
Hey, I got a question though for you, Laron. Is the term penis enlargement anywhere in the Bible? Whether it be heterosexual or whatever, is that term penis getting bigger anywhere in the Bible?
Man, I don't believe
Wow.
so. And I don't know where in the hell this brother actually got this from. Now, what's crazy is as we can see, it says, now that we see, as we put in perspective, as 1 Kings 10:23, and Job 36:9 says, then he showed them their work and their transgression, and that they have exceeded. That they have exceeded. So let's take it in context with 1 Kings 10:23. Exceeded 14:31. It says, so King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom. So as we look, one of the words on here is magnify, great, grow, nourish up, grow up, greater. Then we see also in the sense of honor, estate, also in pride. So these are certain applications that we can use with this. And not just to look at the English words as well. Exceeded means to exceed just as well, you know what I'm saying? Or to go forth, basically. So, and wept one with another until David exceeded, basically. In other words, David basically got back in stature and honor, and basically strengthened up from when he was crying, basically. You know what I'm saying? And he was magnified. So this is what we say to nothing in the text, and the usage that we see in the other places. It is, in other words, David actually. Now these two are both crying, right? And bowed themselves 3 times, and they kissed one another and wept with one another. David, until David exceeded. David exceeded upon David exceeded before Jonathan did. So David strengthened up and basically stopped weeping before Jonathan, and Jonathan is older than this man. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we're seeing right here. And Jonathan said to David, "Go in peace, for as much as we have sworn both of us in the name of the Lord, saying, the Lord be between me and thee, and between my seed and thy seed forever." And he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. Now, number one is this. This man said that they got married, basically, and had sex. That's what Shakka said. They got married and they had sex.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, this ignorant.
Hold on, LaRon. Hold on. Shaka did not try to say they got married.
Yes.
You trying to tell me I missed that part. He said that Jonathan and David got married?
What the brother did was he went to somebody's text that had the read on it, and he read from somebody's book, and when he read from it, he said, and I believe he said that that's what they said about it, but evidently he must have was thinking the same thing, but he didn't want to get too ridiculous with it. But hey, you pulled out the book, so because you pulled it out, guess what? You're gonna die with the book.
Now let's
you in the book now.
Let's get this clear, man. You doing a good job, bro. I mean, like, on some real joint, all jokes aside, man, it's crazy that you do have to do this, but like I said, you bringing out a lot of stuff, man, that's just opening up, concepts and understandings about daily life we're living today. You know what I'm saying? But if these brothers can look at our text and get this type of understanding, how are they getting a pure understanding of their own text? Now, this is making me question.
Oh,
now I'm being.
Oh man, that you just busted up a whole can of worms right there. Because the Hebrew is not that hard to understand. That Medunetta is really complex. That's a really complex language form. So if you can't even get an understanding of something as basic as Hebrew, how do we? Oh man!
How could we trust that? Like, you're basically saying my Bible is insignificant, but yet you can't even interpretate it right, and you interpretate your own stuff right. Now I have to look at them with a total biasness until I see multiple translations of what they're doing. I got to see everybody agreeing with the translation that they have for their own papyrus, man.
Come on, man. I'm just saying, bro. Let's keep it 1,000. If you trying to tell me that means David and Jonathan got married, come on, man. I'm just saying, come on, man. If you want to say, okay, I'm just messing with y'all, that was a joke. Okay, say that, but don't sit up here and be like, that's some Dr. Ben scholarship. Like you would publish that thing in a book and put your name on it. Come on, man.
Yeah, it gets real. It gets real ridiculous, man, and it's childish, man. And I'm not gonna play with you. Like, I shouldn't even have to bring out that whole text like that, because this is basic. Like, if you can't even deal with the theology of the Bible, please stop with the shenanigans, man. Like, for reals, like, it's crazy how you embarrassing yourself by bringing out that information like that. And then, Jonathan, for you disappointed me, bro. You can just speak on it and bring that up. You disappointed me, man, because you already know how I get down already, Jonathan, and you know you can play with them other people like that. But bro, look, I'm straight, nothing but text. I made it my straight desire to basically know this and read this and get this in me and get this understanding by heart. So when you talk about the Book of Kings, when you talking about from Revelation to Tanakh, the Torah, and all that, bruh, I'm straight on it, man. Like, if I don't know it, I'm going to know it within probably like 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm going to come and get with you and let you know. But the understanding is in this Bible. Anybody on this panel, bruh, you do not know this Bible than anybody that's on this panel.
Man,
now, I don't know. I don't know if Nahisi know the Bible, but I know that he probably knows some of it. But I know.
Look, Nahisi knows common sense. You don't even have to know the Bible. It's just common sense. Like,
Exactly.
read. I'm just like, okay, LaRon, you did a great job with all of this, but I just, the lunacy behind you having to do a whole presentation telling me the sky is blue. That's what you just did.
Yep.
You just gave me a whole presentation trying to explain to me why the sky is blue.
This was a reach.
Because this guy did a presentation trying to tell me it's yellow with purple polka dots. He said, well, see, the isotopes in the sky, see, we're not using our real eyes. See, when the atmosphere is a certain way, it can create lines and polka dots. And you may say it's blue, but it really means this. What's the root word for blue?
Hey, I'm about to start calling these dudes Mr. Fantastic, because that reach was just, that was a steep reach right there, man. Like,
God, dog, man. But somebody set him up, man.
Yeah. Bring something out real quick. I got some. I just went upstairs and got my little notes or whatever. Let me hold on for real quick. Let me show y'all something. Like, you know what I'm saying? I be writing stuff down. I write what I need to write down. You know, and I study this stuff while I'm over the road or whatever case. So let me bring something out real quick. I've been studying Kemet for a little while now. So I write this stuff down. It says, I ran upstairs, so I'm kind of tired a little bit, but it's all good though. It says, the 7 aspects to Egyptian existence. This is vital. We're dealing with the theology of Kemet. It says the body equals vessel or ka. Or they usually say ha, basically. So this is the body, this is the vessel. And you can find vessels behind certain kings, and you find what is it called? It's called you have the vessel, and the vessel is supposed to be contained, and the vessel is contained the ba, basically. So you will see a servant carrying the essence of the king in the vessel. Okay, so let me finish on. It says the heart was considered by Egypt the intellect and the emotions. In other words, the brain wasn't rather important to Kemet as anything else. So when you see the all-seeing eye as being the brain, that was alright. I'm saying that was cool. That was cool as the king was alive. But when the king died, the brain was scraped through the nose and threw in the trash. It says the ka. The ka is the vital force, the twin of you, basically. It's the twin of you, basically, as we see. And it says the ba, and these are 7 aspects. Remember that. The ba is the soul, spirit, or ghost, basically. And this ghost is basically, they viewed it as being activated somewhere at death. That's when it was mainly activated at death. That's what they viewed it as. But our biblical text view it as being activated now in the man, and then also regenerated. So, you know what I'm saying, regenerated. So I guess that's what they saying, regenerated at death. I can see that. You know what I'm saying? I can see that. But we call our regeneration in a now spirit. I mean now, which means to be born again, born of the spirit, basically. Okay, so let's the shadow, a shatu. The shatu is where we adopted the word shadow, and that means the symbolic action. In other words, it's the twin of man, and basically wherever man go, the shadow of man go. And basically, when death comes about, there is no shadow anymore. There is no shadow. So the shadow basically separates itself from the man. So this is the aspects of the of Kemet. So let's look at the second one. These things are important to Kemet, and this is the one that's very important to Kemet. It's the Ren. The Ren is the name, basically, because if you know anything about the name was always important in Kemet. In other words, when you look at the hieroglyphs, a king will make it known his name on either the hieroglyphs, and if he wanted to make his name more known than the next king or anybody else, he will dig mold his name with deeper and deeper imprints into the stone, basically, because they believed that their history should be on stones because it was a memorial and it should stand for all time. So that's what we see. Then we have also the Aku. The Aku is basically the transfigured spirit. Now this is amazing because Kemet was in the aspect dealing with the same theology for as what the Bible deals with in the New Testament, the transfigured spirit. And it's amazing because their creation story, which deals with the abyss and deals with the waters of noon, is just like ours and just like the other nations. So we all have something in common. It doesn't mean that it originated in Kemet, but it does mean there is a commonality of it. And it means that we all have an ancestor that gave us the information, and we share the information, but in different tongues. That's where it kind of parts with different types of stories because the transliteration. All right, so let's go. It says the Aku is the transfigured spirit. Now understand this. Whenever you see an Aku on the walls, you mainly see the transfigured spirit of the kings and the priests, basically with southern Nesu hats on. The Nesu hats with the what's called. Yeah, that's what you see them with. So you never basically and this is amazing because the Nesu hats that we see is deals with a priestly. It deals with priestly as well as southern king, as well as the southern king. Now here's what's amazing. You never see a king buried in a Nesu hat. Never see a king in what we call the upper hat, the Nesu Bidi, which is the Bidi is the upper kingdom hat, right? I mean not upper, I'm sorry, the lower Egypt hat, basically northern Egypt, basically. So we see the Nesu Bidi hats, the double crowns, basically. So these actually deals with basically the priestly king and also the warrior king. So when you had both of them, you was a priestly king to carry out the priestly orders as a king, as well as seen as being the divine or divinity, and also you had the warlike hat, and you was able to take these northern south and northern or south Kemet and unite with these aspects. Now trip off of this. Now the Nisu hat that we find, we don't really find in archaeology those in Kemet, but I'm gonna tell you where we find those at. We find those hats in Mesopotamia, and they have the horns wrapped around it with the thing on the top. Yeah. And that's amazing because in the Nakata period is when we find, guess what? The Nisu hats. And the Nakata period is when we find contact from Mesopotamians. Yeah, it is that. So I'm going to do a class on this because we're going to show you where the Kemet was adopting gods, and not only that is we're going to show you where the the Nakata II period of the Khazarians, how they came into the Nile Valley and conquered the Nile Valley with an amazing weapon, which is the pear-shaped mace, which originated from Mesopotamia. And not only that is the Mesopotamia high-prow boats and ships. Now, this is amazing because the high-prow boats and ships originated in Mesopotamia. They was trading then. Among the Nakata period, we find the lapis lazuli, and we find also the Sarat facade, and these are the building techniques or the things that we see the king's names entitled in there. We find also the Falcon tribe. We don't see the Falcon tribe until the Nakata period, Nakata II period, and 4th millennium BC. So when I teach the class, it's going to get very interesting. Very interesting.
So, I seen. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, bro.
No, look at this right quick. Mikael just posted something on his page. What really makes me feel they really setting up Shakka, man. He just posted up. He posted up a video with Sanega and Polite talking. Like, I don't even think they knew they was on camera, but they said they really think this dude Shakka is a homo. Like, they saying that, man, they set him up, man.
I don't think but you know what though? I want to touch on that, man, as far as with the brother LeBron was saying, but you know what though? That's the messed up part though, bro Alvin. You know what I'm saying? Why would you say, like, why are these people doing this, man? Like, no, it's a real joint. Why would I get off this? Why would I get off of this Google chat? We all chopping it up, and then I'm gonna go call LeBron up, like, yeah, you know that nigga Alvin, man. I'm really starting to think, man, that nigga losing his mind. Yo, like, wow, it just shows the conduct. Like, it's the conduct. Oh man, yo.
You gotta see this, man. I'm looking at it, man. And Mike, you just told it. They really, they bogus, man. They bogus.
And I already got some inside scoop on what's really going on when it comes down to this information, this cutthroat inside of that whole organization from the A-Man Rod Squad on down.
And you know,
so
like what we doing is bringing clarity to what Shakka was doing. His information was bogus, but you know what? I'm gonna clown his information. I ain't gonna clown him no more because you know, I'll clown his information all day. But him as a person, I see they just out to crucify him.
And Shakka on some real joint, bro. Shakka love black people, man.
Yeah,
and like, that's what I'm not understanding. Like, I don't got no problem with them brothers on that level, but I'm not gonna sit up there and bash them brothers in. I mean, not if they ask them for it. I mean, as far as disrespecting. But Shakka love black people, man.
Yeah, but you
shouldn't do that.
But we do gotta expose this false information, though. Don't get it twisted. We gotta expose the false information, but I see what they doing to him, man. It's kind of bogus.
Yeah, I gotta check that out myself. I gotta look into it. You know what I'm saying? See what's really going on, so I can get my understanding. But LeBron, check this out, right? Now, I seen brother Jonathan post something in his post, man. The dude something Rollins or something like that. What the frick is the guy name again? Well, whatever. He posted up something about this theory that some white guy had, showing that ancient Kemet got all of their not all their understanding, but basically they was borrowing certain things from Mesopotamia. Now, I believe that to a certain extent. I don't believe that the whole Kemet was just like ripping off of them. I'm talking about the Kemet as in the Kemet that we know from the time of I forgot how whatever period you want to call it, the not pre-dynastic, the 4th, 5th dynastic, whatever. Into that time, right?
The Nakata period, or what time you talking about?
I ain't talking about the Nakata period. I don't really know nothing about the period or nothing like that.
You talking about the 5th millennium, 5th millennium in that area around 5,000, 6,000 to 5,000. You see in that area?
Okay, no. I actually believe that around that time they were actually getting some of their information and some of their ideologies from Mesopotamia. Because I was looking at that, I was looking at that king. What's his name? Hor Aha, and I was looking at you know what I'm saying, I was reading some things on that. And it kind of made sense, you know what I'm saying, with them boats that they found over there by some pyramids and how the boats were, you know what I'm saying, designed the way the Middle Easterns and how they boats designed and how they came across the Nile. I'm still looking into that right now. But and it's funny that he posted that up, and what you're talking about actually relates to what I was looking at. But it's funny he posted that up and was like, it's just a theory. This is something, you know, basically is deceiving. But I seen the archaeology. And the archaeology shows and proves that some of the things are structures, how the structures were built in Kemet, how that the Mesopotamians was doing that, and how them Falcon people that you talking about, how them Falcon people made what we call the Horus, the whole Horus concept, and that's funny.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is because like let me show y'all something real quick. I got the paperwork on that too, because I like. It's certain concepts that don't come into Kemet into the 4th millennium, and you won't find these guys. They are some jokes and clowns, man, and they are actually racist, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Now I will say this: the only thing Kemet got on the entire planet is that Great Pyramid of Giza. That right there is some architectural wizardry.
Yeah. I'm not really astonished with stone. I'm not really astonished with stone though, so I don't really think that's great to me. That's really a death tune for me, for real. Matter of fact, the Most High said when we came up out of Kemet, he said that we should not make altars with steps. And those was talking about step pyramids, basically, where we walk up on, our nakedness may not be discovered. So the Most High was already telling us in the text. And pyramids are basically high places. That's all it is.
But so I'm talking about, as far as the architecture, to have something that gigantic with damn near perfect 90-degree angles on each side, built on sand, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, look, man, listen, man, I ain't taking nothing away from our ancestors, because I can call them my ancestors too. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling the brothers, I don't care if I came from King Tut's balls. You know what I mean? That Bible the truth. But the simple fact of the matter is you got pyramids all over the world. You even got pyramids that they say that's older than the pyramids at Giza. That's impressive. That's impressive to me.
Ain't none of them like the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Let me bring out something real quick, and I'm gonna tell y'all this gonna be amazing right here though. But there's I'm gonna tell you who they learned how to build them pyramids from. When you read the book of Revelations, you talk about the influence of Mystery Babylon. So this is what made me want to know what was the relationship between Kemet, because he told John, he said, 5 kings have fallen. Now, understand this. In John's day, if he's telling John 5 kings have fallen, or mountain empires have fallen, then we need to know who is he talking about. Because in John's day, in the book of Revelations, when John was getting the revelation, he was in the Roman Empire. That's who he was up under, right? So check off of this. Before John was the Grecian Empire, which was which would be the 5th kingdom. The 4th would be of the ones that fell. The 4th will be the Mede and Persian Empire. The 3rd kingdom that fell, as we go back, will be the Babylonian Empire, the Assyrian Empire, then the Egyptian Empire. So John is telling us that this woman is seated on this beast with 7 heads, and on the 7th head has 10 horns. The beast itself being the 8th kingdom to rule as a world empire. He's telling us that this mystery Babylon, or this religious system, has influence and has a cup in her hand, and all the earth has drunken from this cup, and she has influenced the world. So what is the influence on the religious Babylonian system of Nimrod that has influenced Egypt? oh, it gets real interesting once you do a study on it. And you realize that shortly after dispersion of Babylon, guess what came into Egypt? The 7 sages, the sacred family. And these are the ones, are the gods that we see down in Edfu that is mentioned on the temples as the Sheptu gods, or the senior gods. And these gods are told to be Thoth and the 7 sages, who bring knowledge unto Egypt. And one of the gods that is mentioned in is called, let's look at this real quick.
Now, you know they try to say Thoth is Enoch. I've heard that connection before.
Yeah, I've heard that connection too, but I don't know. I'm not sure with that, but I do know that he has. Let's look at this real quick. Let's look at these gods' names. There's 3 of them. Okay, the first one in Edfu. Now it's a roll of gods in Edfu, right? On the top of the temple. Now the temple is built like 2 mounds, and the sun will come up in this mound. Now understand this. When you talk about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're talking about men that came off of Mount Ararat, or where the ark landed at, begin to worship the Most High, or worship the Creator, and begin to make him out of a mountain god. Now, it's not odd that the Most High revealed himself in the mountain. So he comes off the plain of the mountains, comes down through where the Euphrates is, all the way down into Babylon, because you traveled where water was, where the river's at, where you got basically fertile soil at. So they traveled down. Then once they traveled down, they turned and came east into Mesopotamia. Into Babylon. And trip off of this, they begin to erect a step pyramid, or what you call a ziggurat, or the Tower of Babel. Now, it's not odd that after they was dispersed, they retained the knowledge that they had, right? And the knowledge that they had, it was in their own tongue after they was dispersed, but they built what you call a New World Order. And this New World Order at that time, under one tongue, one people, was to defy the Most High God. So the Most High dispersed them and confused their languages. They left off, but guess what, to the other countries? They began to erect pyramids because they retained the knowledge on how to build, right? So trip off of this. There was builders that was better, and the architect builders that had the blueprint of building that was better than some others. So look, what they did was they built what you call high places, because guess what? They remember the Most High as being pictured in a mountain, basically. See what I'm saying? So this is what we have. So you have what you call the mountain god, or El Shaddai, basically. So this is what we're seeing them, and when we see a temple, or when we see these temples, we see high places, and we see the sun coming up off these temples, and worship being portrayed, or the moon as well, above these temples, and giving reverence to the solar system. So this is what we're seeing, right? We're seeing a mound and the top of the mounds. Basically, this is Egyptian. The Nimrod story. Nimrod, they was dispersed. Some was dispersed into the Nile Valley, right? So here it is. You have Nimrod and his family. Guess what? They knew how to build ships because they was training during that time. As we can see, they knew how to build ships because this is 100 years. And then if we calculate the ages, 100 years after when they came off of Mount Ararat is when the Tower of Babel came about. So this is 100 years after. So they knew how to build ships because Noah built a ship. So they were still doing somewhat of starting to trade in the Ubaid period in Mesopotamia. What they did was they came into the Nile. They came around the Persian Gulf, left from El Dorado down to the Persian Gulf, up into what you call the Red Sea, across the 2 wadis. You have two wadis that they had. These are two crucial parts. The followers of Seth was in the lower wadi, and well, not the lower, but I mean the northern wadi, and the followers of Heru was in the southern wadi. Now these are two people that was diverse from each other. They was basically compatible with each other and fighting against each other. Now understand this, these are two places that's in the wadis that are gold mines, basically. They said that the first basically was digging in that time, and there was gold mines. Now in these areas, it's very crucial because they are wadi points. They are wadi points, and that's where we found the Nakata period at in the one in Neckin and in Kenais, right? So in Kenais, we find contact that we know had to be contact because we see lapis lazuli, which comes from Afghanistan. We see also concepts of let me look at this real quick so I can. We see concepts of new things being introduced into Kemet in the Nile Valley. Now, mind you not, we have a battle on the Gabal El Garak knife. We have a battle of Neolithic ships that was in the Nile, and also high prow ships. And this, they say, is a war in the Nile, basically taking place. So, and this is, and the religious motif that was introduced was a Mesopotamia motif. Very important, because we show contact and we show also some influence there. Because why is it this is a Egyptian knife with a Mesopotamia motif on it? That's very important. We have to answer that. That's when we look at the name of a pilot, the same thing. So let's look at the things that was brought into Egypt at this time in the Nile Valley. You see the figurines dancing, basically in the Nakata period. Two plumes being introduced into the Nile Valley. You don't see these until that time, until that period. You see the purse-shaped mace. They had the purse-shaped mace with them. This mace was kings. Now this is very important because as we see that the native Egyptian shaped mace. So a purse-shaped mace can be the cause of one the other one and uniting them, because the purse-shaped mace is the weapon of excellence. That is the weapon of the pharaohs, as we see. And this weapon, go ahead with one crack and you was dying, whereas this mace cracked and crumbled a lot and wasn't perfected to the most. This Persianium, and it's found among the in Kenais. I'm sorry, not Kenais. It's found on pottery. Found in Kenais on the walls of art, and then found on pottery, and also found in the grave sites that we see Flinders Petrie excavating. Very interesting. So we see also other new concepts that come into the Nile Valley. You see a lot of stuff being established here coming into the Nile Valley. Somebody been messing with my paperwork. Okay, here it is. We see the bull's tail. Very important, because in Mesopotamia, the bull's tail was something that was very important. Coming into the Nakata period at this time, Nakata II period, we see the rosette, and the rosette is the king title, basically. It is the rosette. It's like a little flower that the servant bears, or either the wife may bear this behind the king. It's a kingly title. It just lists a king title, whereas the bull title also lists the same thing. Then you have the high-prow ships. Remember, they had Neolithic ships. We see in this period on the art of the Gazarenes, and also in the Kenais, and on the eastern rock art in the Sahara, we see the dragging boat scenes. Because this is very important about the dragging boat scenes, because what happens is we see these guys bringing their boats off the Red Sea through the wadis, and guess what we see on the walls of Kenais? We see men or little figures dragging their boats. Where else do we find this at? In the pyramids of the funerary texts. We see all through the underworld, they're dragging boats. So what they're doing is portraying, basically depicting a memorial of their ancestors into the now, basically. So when you was to go back into the go into the underworld, when you was to go into the underworld and Kemet, what you was doing was making your way back to the east where the sun rises at in the Isle of Flame. And the Isle of Flame is Nuki, the waters of Noon in Elderu. This is a real spot. Kemet whole theology it turns, their whole holy place is in the east. Even when you look at the birds, guess who was known for the birds? Native Egyptians did not even deal with birds. Some of them didn't even grow birds, matter of fact. So when they sing those kings of the east, they from Kush brought their family into the Nile Valley. Truth be told, because the land of Kush is actually in Mesopotamia. So it's a lot of history behind this. Another thing is the Sirak Palace facade that originated in Mesopotamia. So there's a lot of concepts that we see that came into the Naqada period, and these things are not just what they say, basically theories. These things were supported, but what made people to leave the supporting these things is because racism, because they wanted to say, and they wanted to say that basically the Egyptians was not smart enough, or whatever the case may be. But even the Egyptians in their theology tells you the Heru or Horus, which means the distant one, brought knowledge and taught them, came into Egypt, and they taught sailing. They taught, there's 3 gods that's mentioned in that roll of gods that I mentioned. Let me give you those names. One of them is Wa. Wa is the distant one. In other words, the distant one of who they call, of who his followers is the Shimsuhar, the slanted faces, are the ones that are slanted heads, the one that came into Kemet, basically, as we see holding the Horus standards of Heru. Then you have he is the great one. Then you have Ne. Now Ne is very important because he is a sailor. He teaches sailing to them. And all of these gods are associated with math, science, and building. This is thought in the 7 sages. Now here's what's amazing. Because the same Mesopotamians have actually a story about 7 sages bringing knowledge unto Mesopotamia. So this is important. You just don't look up at the stars and say, hey, I'm just going to count these stars today and see how this move around. No, you are taught this by somebody. Somebody from afar brought you knowledge. So this is the spooks that they don't want to deal with, but they want to deal with cosmic evolution. By chance, these things came about, but I see moons on other planets, and I'm looking up and we see these moons and we see other solar systems, and we think by chance that we are just the only ones. Yes, we are atoms that's in the image of likeness of God. Yes, we are. But there are other atoms that's out there that's not in the image of likeness of God. What do I mean by that? Other beings. See, when God made and brought things into existence, he made everything that he brought into existence, and he said, let it bring forth after its kind. So then after he got done, he said, let us make men after our image and our likeness, basically after our kind. So he made men in his image and his likeness, and he made female to come from men, and he blessed he and she, basically, and made them to procreate. See what I'm saying? So man is in mankind, which is woman, because she is a kind of man, basically. So this is what we're dealing with here. See what I'm saying? So we dealing with the first anesthesia of man being taken from the woman. So the first anesthesia was Adam being put in the deep sleep, and then genes being spliced to bring about the woman to procreate, basically. So this is just simple. It's nothing. This is simple, man. This is basic knowledge. There's nothing deep about this. This is what the Bible is telling us. So if the Bible says that Egypt was influenced or drunk from the cup of Babylon, that means that the religion of Babylon, of Egypt, came up out of Babylon. This is what the Bible is telling us. And we know this is fact, because you know why? Because what happened was this sacred family that the Magi was protecting, for that cash. We're going to deal with that. So it's,
Yo, and just to make it, because a lot of people that may listen to that's pseudo, So check this, right? First off, everything that you're saying is exactly what these people already knew. That's why I know somebody's misinterpreting the text, because the text is not being self-proclaimed as we did it on our own. We did it on our own. No. It ain't no way. The text is saying that, because you know why? When you looking at what they say, oh, we come from the Twice. All right, okay. Where is the Twice advancement? Where is the Twice knowledge? Where is their science at? Because if you come from the Twice and you say that the Twice your ancestors and you got their gods and their concepts, how did you succeed them? How do you succeed them? And why are the Twice not advanced? Why do they not care for the advancement of Kemet? Y'all, matter of fact, y'all use the Twice to dance because, you know, y'all, they did put them in high regards. Don't get it twisted. But they were merely dancing for y'all. Y'all main guys were talking all of them is Twice. Where the advancements at? Where did they get it? Where did they not come from?
Exactly. And you know what's crazy? What's crazy is this. Is when you tell them this, they get upset because, and listen, understand this. Our people was dealing with living off the land, basically. Our people wasn't into the Kemetic science like as we see, and also the Mesopotamian science, because that was, when you look at every mystery school that's in around this world, they are using this science to, guess what? To gain immortality through their intellect, and to defy God and cut the bands away from God, from being the source of this earth.
I got a question though. I got a question, and I always ask a Kemetic person this, and I always get such a vague answer. What exactly is the science? I keep hearing, you know, they had science and this is science. What's the science? And is that science more advanced than what we have today?
Exactly.
I'm saying, what is the science? I never get. This is what I get. I get allegory. I get, well, Anubis represents this, and that's the you know, the metaphysical proton and neutron, and I get all of that. But okay, what science can I use? Okay, what's the Kemetic science to help my plants grow better? You know, what's the Kemetic science to clear the bumps up off my face? Like, that's what I'm talking about. I need specifics. You know what I'm saying? I don't never get that.
Exactly. And listen,
well,
I'm gonna tell you something.
I gotta say it like this. I believe that those answers are in Kemet. I just don't believe that these people have access to that information, because some of this information is lost. It's just like Mesopotamia. It's just like any civilization. What is their science? What science did the indigenous people of America have that they was able to build them pyramids too? Even though it ain't big and luxurious like Giza, Well, what science did they have? How did they know the mathematics and the calculations and the square roots? How did they know those things? Because you need those things to build something. Hell,
Look,
just like in the Bible,
here's
got
my
aunt always. You got aunt always saying, "Show me a medical papyrus. Show me a papyrus where they learn science." It's in the language. How could David and them be building a temple and don't have no science? How can anybody be writing on the Astrakhan or writing if they had no type of science to understand how to do these things? You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense. You know what I mean? It's simple stuff that they really ignore. Everybody had this science. Everybody.
Now here's what's so funny. Now here's what's really funny. The life of a Hebrew and the life of a Kemetic is not that much different. A Hebrew's gonna wake up, read, study. A Kemetic person's gonna wake up, read, study. But I think the difference is the Hebrew is not just studying his scriptures to try to debunk Kemet. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I gotta get the door. Oh, there she go. What up? Yeah, but I'm just saying we don't do that. So it's like they just the Kemetic people been reduced down to historians. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. You're right.
They're just historians.
Yeah.
You go, hey, look, you go down Amin Ra page, all you're gonna see is dates and artifacts. They're just historians. That's it. I don't see no.
They're not take. First of all, every written text is to document something. But most importantly, when you have a text that's dealing with theology, it's to show you what the people was thinking. They do not have that understanding. They don't have it. They don't.
And another thing, I want to bring they don't play the dating semantics with me anymore. They don't do that with me. You know, I'm on that already, and I'm not with that. In other words, I can prove to them that the chronology is if we build BC days not accurate. So if I can prove to you that they have, if I can prove that to you, then guess what? You might as well take your dates and throw them in the trash because I'm showing you that it conflicts and it's off. It's not right. And then when we deal with carbon, then it causes them to be stuck and confounded. Deal with great assumptions. Also, radiometric dating. Any type of dating system always deal with assumptions. Some what's called here? Hold on, y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Did y'all hear me clearly, or was I breaking up?
I heard you very clearly.
Okay, so when you did, and we're going to be doing a class on the Hebrew War Machine this Saturday on carbon dating, and also just dating when you deal with chronology just in general, because there are great assumptions that you must make with radiometric dating or any type of dating system, and there are things that are needed to date. And one of the things that are needed is historical observation. And unless you got a spaceship to take you back in the future, and it's impossible for you to get that information. And also, there's some more things I'm gonna bring out. I'm gonna save it for Saturday, but it's gonna be good this Saturday. I think we're gonna start at around 8 or 9 p.m. But we'll post the links and on Facebook and the other groups or whatever. So if not, just inbox me, on Facebook, G Consciousness. So email me, LaRon498@gmail.com. We're gonna be on the Hebrew War Machine, and we're gonna deal with carbon dating, radiometric dating, and all sorts of dating, and we're gonna show you the flaws in it and we're going to show you this the dating scheme and the conspiracy behind dating, and why we do use dating to try to relate to the past. But we're going to show you how they use the dating system to cause millions of people, not just millions of people, but a lot of people just going to go basically down south. Down south.
Now, LeRon, now we're gonna make this real clear too, because once you bring that information out, and I have a book that talks about the same information, the conspiracy, and this is way back in like around like the 1900s. They was talking about why these people were putting later dates on things that they were finding because they didn't want to conflict with the bullcrap that they was putting out. There's a lot of politics behind it, but let's make this clear with the dates that we have right now. Because I don't want anybody telling me, well, you said you don't use dates. I don't. Everybody know I don't use dates, but I have to use dates that you like, that you put up, so I can try to correlate and match a point of time in history or some parallels of. So let's just make that clear, because you know a lot of people will try to play off that. I don't need you using dates, brother, when we try to show a parallel according to their dates. You know what I'm saying? When we try to match something up to their dates, because I'm doing this thing with Thutmose the third, and I'm gonna be pulling some information out, and I have to use a date according to what they have, so I can show them a parallel and what lines up perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Concerning Jeremiah, what Jeremiah was talking about, so we can show some actual events in history that was recorded that's well known in the Bible that people are not trying to go and dig into. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that, man. We go. You know what I mean? So nobody think it's a hypocritical statement you're making and try to use that against us.
Exactly. Yeah, brothers, but it's been good, man, to be on here with you guys, man. Nahisi and King Yeshaya and Alvin, man, but I'm about to get up off here. I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to be there. So, man, once again, you know, we're going to be on here. We're going to try to do this all the time. You know, I will say this. Shakka Utmost, man. Matter of fact, Father God, we just thank you, Father. We thank you for your mercy, your grace. We thank you to continue to give us revelation of you, first off, and continue to deal with our hearts and cleanse us from all unrighteousness that we may know you, Father. We thank you that you send laborers across that brother's path. We thank you that you strengthen his mind, Father. We thank you for the grace that you're putting on his life, Father. And we thank you that even though we see him slandering you to the ground, we thank you that as we seen Paul slander you and slander your son, that you will likewise deal with this brother and restore unto him, Father God, the salvation of joy, Father God. So we thank you for that. And we thank you for his mind being renewed, Father, being renewed as he began to get an in-depth study that you're going to give him. We thank you, Father God, that we break that homosexual spirit that's on that brother, because he is dealing with that spirit. Not saying that he is a homosexual, but he is dealing with an effeminate spirit, and an effeminate spirit deals with homosexuality. So we want to break that on him now, Father. And we thank you for your mercy. We thank you for these brothers that's in here listening right now. We thank that you bless our households, Father. We thank you for those that are listening in, that you bless their households. We thank you for the clarity be brought forth, and the unity be brought forth, and that we become God consciousness, this rather than self-consciousness. And we give you the praise and the honor, Father. And we say this and say it's done in the authority of your Son, Father, Yahushua, Father, in Jesus' name, who is called Jesus, that we call now. Amen. So, man, it is what it is. You know, it's not really a game out here. It's nothing that's really funny, but it's sad, like Alvin said, man. So, you know, that brother need prayer, man. And that brother, you know, we have to bring this information out, though. We got to. Because if we don't bring this information out, then these people don't continue to lead people with their ignorance to that road is wide and leads to destruction. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, peace to you brothers, man. Anybody got any last words they want to say?
Thank Yahuwah for the Amen Ra Squad and all the other scientists that are dealing with science that can bring clarity to how things were made and how things were designed, because the Father knew it already, and they just had that ability to understand it through the Father. So now we can look into the scriptures and we can see how things was made, how things work, and how things function. That we're talking about the same thing, even though they might be using different scientific terms, subatomic particles, whatever, the unknown, the unseen, whatever, the unexplainable. It's still the same stuff. So I thank the Father for that, because these brothers are being used to bring out information for our faith and our that's what I would like to say.
Yeah. They definitely bring out information, but you know already how they go, because they bring out the information and they get some good information, but you know the serpent always brought that good with that evil. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to chew the meat and spit the bones out. So they got some good information, but for the most part, when they attacking this Bible, they ain't lining it up with the scientific, because the Bible deals with science too. Don't get it twisted. I'll bring it out of there. You know, it's in there. Yeah. So Alvin, you got something to say? I don't know if Nahisi does. Nahisi be going to sleep a lot. He probably that Peace to you, brother Nahisi. Nahesia, I think it's Nahesia. Nahisi, he cool brother though. That brother cool, man. Yeah. So you know, man.
I'm gonna go back into being quiet. So I'm gonna go back into being quiet. I thank you for having me on. Me and you got some work to do. Word is on. I got some information that's definitely key. And I'm gonna definitely reach out for it.
Yeah, so we definitely gonna get up tomorrow, man, because you work tomorrow, or you gigging?
Nah, I'm off.
Yeah, cause we need to get together tomorrow so we can get this class together. Cause I wanna we both gonna tag team and the other brothers, but for the most part, we gonna deal with this dating system tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And attack that. And then we gonna come together on Saturday and break bread, basically.
All right. Cool
All
with
right,
that,
peace,
man.
brothers.
Shalom, my brothers.
All right, peace. Shalom.